Hello, everybody. This is Hadley Bajramovic, La Gringa. I am a 20-year immigration attorney. I don't know, 15 years is how long we've had our offices in Riverside. And I'm here with La Chapina, Zayra Ivette Padilla, who has been with the office for 15 years and is a senior manager. And we are very excited to have our very dear friend, who is also a manager in the firm, Veronica uh, Zacarias. She has an amazing story, and I asked her to join us to talk about her life. And we were having a conversation. I said, "Wait, I want to record this." So we're going to pick up with, kind of where we're starting to go with our discussion because we haven't seen Veronica in a while.
I know.
And Zayra is leaving to go live in Guatemala. And so what I wanted to tell you, Vero, is that the last time I saw Zayra was last week. We went to Valle de Guadalupe, and this is one of our favorite places in Mexico. It's about a 2.5, 3 hour drive. It depends on traffic and the border. But we drive over to Valle de Guadalupe going through San Diego, and then you drive along the coast and it's gorgeous. And they have this glamping culture. They have these gorgeous cabins that are decorated to perfection in like what I call Mexican modernism. And the restaurants down there are winning Michelin stars. So that's what we did last week. So
Yeah, we actually booked a restaurant in Malone a week before, right, Hadley? The
oh,
Michelin list.
it was 2 or 3 weeks. We had
Yeah,
to
and
get
then we're like, thank
reservation.
God we reserved it because they got the Michelin star. So we're like, oh my gosh, now it's gonna be even
Oh,
like more difficult to make that reservation than ever.
yeah, yeah, and it was like death by food. There are 16 courses.
Oh,
I mean, we're like, please stop. Just the
Yeah, then
food.
I couldn't finish the dessert, the last
Yeah,
one. I ate
the
one of
third
the
dessert.
three, one of the three desserts, but I was like, I can't deal with it anymore. I can't. So Hallie was like, "Oh my gosh, we did it again! Like
Yeah,
death by food."
yeah.
yeah.
And Vero is from Mexico. Vero is from Mexico City. Tell us about yourself, Vero.
Yes, of
Tell us
course.
about, yeah.
Of course, no. First of all, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so, so happy to be here with you guys. I really miss your faces. Trust me.
We
I
miss
miss
you
you
too.
too.
We talk about you every day.
I know, but I'm here. I'm still here, and I'm going to be here always. And Valle de Guadalupe actually is one of my favorite places as well. I just went once. I don't know if you remember, Hadley, in 2017 when we were renewing the TN visa for my husband.
Right.
And
And
we
you,
got trapped for 3 weeks
yes.
or more in Tijuana. And
Uh-huh.
then we said, okay, let's just travel across Tijuana. So we
Uh-huh.
went to Ensenada, we went to Rosarito, and we went to Valle de Guadalupe. The difference is that I went with 3 little kids. So I try to enjoy the most, but not as you guys.
Uh-huh.
So I always said I need to go back because I know the places that you have been there and they look amazing. And I really want to go back because for me, it's like a magical little town that you
It
can spend.
is.
Yeah.
And that's what Mexico is full of magical
Yeah.
places, you
Yes.
know, where there's been planning like by the community, and they all stick with some kind of a theme. Like Tulum is another one that I just love Mexico. Everybody who knows me knows that. I have an apartment in Mexico City, in Condesa, and I'm actually going there today, and with my granddaughter, and
Whoa.
we're going to Holbox for a
Oh,
week.
have you been there?
Yes,
Yeah, right. I remember.
yes.
You have been in the places that I haven't been never. So I really
Yeah.
need to go more to my country.
And I
Yes.
told Hadley, Vero, that I was like, I want to go to Valle de Guadalupe before I leave. because I've been wanting to go back forever. And the last time was when, Hadley? Like 2 years ago, maybe? I don't know,
Yeah, I
something.
know for sure we went for Thanksgiving one year and during
And so I was like,
COVID.
no, I want to go before we leave. I want to go back to Animalon. And then we find out she came back from South Carolina, and she's like, okay, let's like call for reservation for Animalon, and we can go. I'm gonna be dead because I'm just coming back from South Carolina, and I'm going traveling again, and then I'm gonna go again, things like that. So,
Yeah.
but I told her like I want to go, and so it was really nice. It was really
Of
nice.
course. Oh, that's an amazing place.
And the reason that I've had the opportunity to learn Mexico, so much about Mexico, is because Vero and I have been working. It started with Vero's husband, Jorge,
Mm-hmm.
told me, you need to go down to Mexico and talk about the E2 visa because people don't know about it. And, Vero did so much groundwork and spent so much time introducing the E2 through WhatsApp groups and going to events and speaking at morning breakfast events. And I think what the problem was, the EB5 marketers were down there talking about, investing in a regional center or making a
Mm-hmm.
$2 million investment. We were talking about this yesterday with Layla, and they drowned out the E2.
Yeah.
And then Trump actually added 3 years. So when we started Vero, and when I think we were working on an E2, for Jorge, we could only get 12 months of
Yes.
status, a visa for 12 months, status for 12 months. And now it's 48 months, and that was a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely.
yeah, tell us how you saw that happening. I mean, when did you notice that people were more receptive to the E2?
I think, okay, I think they still people that they don't believe on it and they still confused because
Yeah.
last week I had another lead that came up to me through my friends and leads and group chats. And they still confused. They still like, oh yeah, that's the one that you need to have at least $200,000 investment. I said, no, like you can go to the USCIS or to the federal government webpage and you can see there is not amount. There is not a designated amount for investment for the E2 visa because people sometimes think that we are coming up making this up like oh no with
Yeah.
only
Mm-hmm.
20,000 or 50,000 or whatever. So I said no, go to this webpage which is the department of the government and then you can see there is in the requirements you can see there is not a certain amount. It says it has to be according to the business, right? So when people start thinking about, oh, okay, so it's not that bad, I don't need that much money. And then when you start telling them all the benefits that you have with this
Mm-hmm.
visa, that's something that and you have a lot of experience, Hadley, when people said, no, this is too good to be true. And even we had one lead that his the directors of the company, they didn't even believe you, and that's why they didn't want it to move forward with the process.
They called it a scam.
Yes, exactly.
Do
They
you
call that
think
a
it's
scam.
just like the information that the wrong information that they're provided through friends or through social media, or because I mean, why would you believe a professional with a 20-year experience that this visa exists and you're actually able to get it? Like, I don't. What could it really cause you to not believe it, kind of thing? Like.
Our society, it's a little bit like not. They don't trust that easy. They need to
Mm.
somebody else to
Mhm.
recommend or say, "I try it, I did it, do it." This person or other person. So we are like this, like Latinos.
Mm.
We are
Mhm.
like this. We need that somebody else recommend us something that they already tried because we are skeptical. Like sometimes we don't believe. Like oh no, she doesn't know what they're talking. And also when they see that was the case of the same lead when they see women, like professional women, and they're like, oh, no, she doesn't know what she's doing. Like, so I think it's more cultural also, and the information is not accurate. It's not even close to the one that you can even see in the website.
Yeah.
And Vero, y creo que es una de las cosas también de que en la comunidad latina tenemos también que es bueno y malo, porque, por ejemplo, los notarios, ellos son personas que no son abogados, que solo toman un curso de 2 horas o una capacitación de 2 horas y le dan un sello con su nombre.
Uh-huh.
Y si alguien conoce a esta persona e hizo un buen trabajo en un caso, ya como que se riega como pólvora y todos van con ese notario, aunque ni siquiera es un profesional, y lo siguen haciendo y repitiendo el mismo ciclo. Y hay muchos, obviamente, que les sale muy mal, la mayoría, mejor dicho, los casos. Y de todas maneras seguimos en ese patrón de confiar en las personas equivocadas y no confiamos en alguien profesional que nos está diciendo esto y esto, acá están las pruebas, acá están las páginas, como vos decís, les di las 2 páginas donde indica que no hay un monto específico de invertir. Entonces, es como increíble que a veces nuestra misma cultura nos evita, como quien dice, abrir los ojos a alguien que te está hablando obviamente con cosas concretas y te está dando pruebas concretas que esto existe y todavía de todas maneras no le creemos y seguimos en lo mismo o le creemos a otra persona por alguna razón. Y como vos decís, lamentablemente, si miran a una mujer, no creo que sepa. O no creo que si fuera un hombre tal vez le creería más, pero es una mujer. Entonces, como que en esa misma idea de machismo, como que la mujer no está capacitada para saber tanto.
Exacto, exacto. Y es un poco triste porque, como te digo, es algo muy cultural, es algo cultural de
Ujú,
los latinos. Pero, por ejemplo, cuando luego empezamos a hablar con ellos y se identifican porque cuando tú les dices, o sea, en este caso yo, les
ujú,
comento, no, yo pasé por ese proceso, yo ya hice ese proceso, entonces la gente empieza a decir, ah, bueno, entonces sí sabe lo que está haciendo, sí sabe de lo que está
ujú.
hablando, ¿no? Entonces ahí es
Y
donde
eso
se
es,
empieza a
y,
crear.
exacto, y eso es I think it's very important that you share your story, Vero, because they
Yes.
actually see somebody who actually went through the process and it worked.
Yes.
And so they will trust more like, oh, okay, so you did it, so it worked for you, so it's not something that you can make up. Same thing when I talk about my story and my parents' story, like, like we do these processes, it works, things like that. Or like we were talking in the other podcast about, the people that have been defrauded so many times, and like you mentioned, they don't, it's really hard for them to trust. So they have to see, oh, okay, this person did it. She knows this person, so I guess I can try, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And also when they have that trust, when they feel you, that you know what they're going to go through with this application, right? So when you have the same experience and you share your experience, so they
Mm-hmm.
become more like attached and they know, okay, so she's very empathic about what I'm gonna live, what I'm feeling, what my fears and everything, right? So that makes that trust, which is very important for that, like our culture, most of it. So I know this process is a little bit too good to be true to believe, but it's an amazing process. For me, it's one of the best non-immigrant visas available for everybody that qualifies for that. Obviously, that
Mm-hmm.
they have to be on the list of countries that qualifies for this
Mm-hmm.
visa, which they are already 78. So I guess it's a really good opportunity when you want to experience to live in another country, in this case in the US, or when you want to grow your business, or when you want to try and do something else in the US,
Mm-hmm.
live for a period of time, bring your family, and give them the opportunities that they can get in this country,
Yeah,
right?
That's
and
very true.
One thing that we did, Vero and I worked, and Fernando Cerda, who's the producer of the podcast, and Stefan Brackbush, who is a business consultant, we approached influencers in Mexico City. And Fernando, I hope maybe you can share in the podcast their link. Vero Ilola. And Vero is Mexican national, Mexico City native. Lola is from France. And so, we had this opportunity to go either way with the French E2 because France is an E2 country, or Mexico. And we went with Mexico because, we were asking them to document their experience and their content and going through the process and building the business plan with Stefan, and their investment was around $20,000. They were approved. I'm seeing now on their Instagram page, they're coming in and out of the US. So, that was our big proof of concept moment to show everybody that it can be done. And we documented it on Instagram, and, they're beautiful producers of photos and content. So it's fun to watch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been going to Baja a lot,
Yeah.
like to
I
Cabo.
think they have a place there.
Yeah, they have a
So,
place.
Oh,
They
yeah,
said
that's
like we never thought we could have a place now here in Baja, so it's really nice. I obviously follow them, and they have very nice content.
yes, of course. And also you can see all the approvals that I Love has done. You can see the growth of the clients. You can see, because I follow them, all of them, on
Oh,
LinkedIn. So you can see how they're growing, how they're doing, and
That's
they're
great.
obviously uh, very intense with the renewal because they want to keep doing this. Or then they want to see, okay, so how can I get my green card now? Because I like this, I want to stay here. So it's really an amazing opportunity to open up your window in this case and see another world that you can try. If you don't like it, there's nothing that is going to happen. You can go back to your country
go back.
and keep doing your life.
Vero, what was the most interesting E2 case for you?
I think the most interesting one, it was a recent one that got approved recently, the restaurant, because
Oh, yeah.
it started really different, and
Okay.
it ended like amazing. Like if you see the restaurant, because I saw the pictures
I saw the
from
pictures.
Stefan,
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
like whoa. Like, because at the beginning we were like, we don't know, that's gonna need a lot of investment because it's a restaurant in New York. And then when you saw the result, the final product is like amazing. That was a really interesting one. And also another one that is recently approved is the Maria del Carmen, the one that they have the coffee machine, Fuego. That one is a really interesting one because also, like, when you see that they start with one idea and they end up with another idea, that's another really good thing from the E2, that
Yeah.
it's an umbrella that you can start with something and you can end up doing other
And
things.
expand. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was asking Hadley about the coffee machine.
Me too.
What did the coffee machine look like? Yeah. I know it's a fancy coffee machine.
Yes, it's really expensive.
The recent
Really?
approval is based on coffee machines. And then Vera worked on these Mongolian cases, and Vera,
Yeah.
you've developed this expertise that's really unique in dealing with submission of DS-160s for all visa types. I mean,
Yes.
you know how to find an appointment.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking me the other day, is there any way we can speed it up? And I just said, only thing I know is that some people can find, like, I don't know, they're trolls that stay up late at night and look for canceled appointments at different posts and grab the appointment for you. But I mean, their job is to stay up all night and look for it. And that's one way maybe to get a faster visa appointment.
Yeah,
But
it's luck because now I know the days that they do the open more appointments. So it's
okay.
usually Thursdays. So Thursdays, early morning, You can go and search, and they open more days because they have cancellations. But it's luck, and it's also be persistent on trying to find the date. But yeah, now that you mentioned the Mongolian ones, I think those are the most interesting ones, the challenging ones, because it's another country, another language, and everything else. Even if you're treating with a government website and a government people like from the US, it's different. Everything is different. It's nothing compared with the Mexican nationals or the Canadians or maybe other countries from Europe, but Mongolians, they're really good cases too.
And you have to, there's no way to deliver documents there. You have to hire a firm
Yes.
in Ulaanbaatar. Is that how the capital is pronounced?
Yeah,
So we have,
Ulaanbaatar.
yes, we have to send our case documents to that firm, and then they deliver it to the door. How did it work, Vero? I know we've done like 3 or 4.
They usually, because the form that they do, most of the E2s, most of the countries, they do electronic. You can send it electronically. The case of Ulaanbaatar, they don't. They want the actual application, all the
Physical
papers,
documents.
the
Oh wow.
documents. So what we need to do,
Mongolia.
because
In
we cannot.
Mongolia, we have physical documents to Mongolia. Okay.
Exactly. They want the physical document. So what I did is I contact a few law firms in Mongolia, and I found a really good one that we start working with them.
Yeah,
So
we've
what
used
we
them multiple times.
Yes. So what we do is we create like it's not an agreement, so they know we are working on E2s. So each E2, I just contact them and said, hey, there is another one. I'll send it to them, and they go in person to the embassy in Ulaanbaatar, the U.S. embassy,
Oh,
and deliver the package.
deliver the package.
But then, because in the other countries, we can control after that, we can control all communications. In Mongolia, no. They contact directly the applicant. If they need anything, if they have an appointment, they do contact the applicant directly.
Yeah, every post has different rules.
Yeah.
So they don't recognize a G28 then, or like a legal representation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they do. mm, Not on the application, but we have to do that in order for the other law firm to help us.
Oh, okay.
At G28, like this, they can be able to represent us and the client at the embassy. So yeah, it's a little bit more complex process, but
Sí, creo
So,
que
go
eso es la
ahead.
diferencia, sorry, Hadley, eso es la diferencia de cuando en nuestro despacho, de que obviamente hacemos todas estas investigaciones, todas estas formas de poder
claro,
a cumplir con nuestro trabajo y hacer lo mejor posible. Porque hablábamos de que muchas veces, de una persona que me llamó, que me dice, oh, ellos obviamente hacen la cita para el papá y el papá y el hijo, porque él es menor, y automáticamente ellos saben de eso. Y yo, no. Nosotros tenemos que decirles, por favor, hagan la cita juntos, porque este solicitante es un menor de edad. Entonces, la gente tiene esa idea de que la embajada, el consulado, lo que sea, tiene esta forma de poder abarcar todo y que todos saben y que todo hacen y nada que ver, como dice Vero, uno tiene que ver la forma de poder trabajar con ellos, con las diferentes embajadas, porque cada una tiene sus propias restricciones y sus propias reglas, etcétera.
exacto. Muchas veces la gente no sabe todo lo que hay detrás. Siempre luego a veces se dejan llevar por, híjole, ¿por qué me vas a cobrar tanto si es solo llenar una forma? No, no es solo
Ujú.
llenar una forma, es lograr con todo el trabajo que hay detrás de cada aplicación, el que tú seas
Ujú.
aprobado y el que realices una aplicación exitosa. Y eso requiere de
Exacto.
tiempo y de esfuerzo, no nada más de llenar una forma. Entonces, sí, pero es parte, ¿no? Pues, del ayudar y de ver esas caras felices de todos los clientes.
Exacto.
la finalidad de este trabajo finalmente.
Esa es la satisfacción
Correcto,
que nos llevamos de ayudar a tantas gentes de tantas diferentes formas en este ámbito.
exactamente.
Hal, you were going to
Exactamente.
say something?
Yeah, because this is a big weekend in Mexico. There's an election, a federal election, and everybody's telling me that Claudia Sheinbaum is going to win. And do you think, Vero?
I think it's gonna be tough because Xochitl is doing really good. So I
Okay.
I think it's gonna be really close election. But like if you see the statistics, I could say that Sheinbaum can have more probability to win. But I
Okay.
see that Xochitl is doing a lot of battle. Like she is strong. So that's why I
So
think
is it two women running?
it's two women. Yep.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh
it
Yeah.
my
is.
gosh. Well, I also like love that we were watching a Jewish woman, up there running. I don't know about the politics in Mexico. I remember one of the reasons why we went to Mexico 6 years ago was because people were worried about AMLO, and they wanted a plan B. AMLO is, the acronym for the current president of Mexico who's stepping out, and I think Claudia, it would be his pick, right?
Exactly.
But the funny thing is, the reason why I know it's this weekend is because I'm going to Mexico City tonight, and my daughter said, "Mom, if you want any wine or alcohol, you have to buy it today. Get
Yes.
on Rappi and deliver it to the house tonight because there's not going to be any alcohol anywhere in Mexico this weekend."
No. Yeah. They
I
always do
can't
that.
imagine the stores right now.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be a really interesting Sunday in Mexico City. I hope everybody goes out and vote because that's what we need to do. No matter which one
Who
you're
we're
gonna
voting
choose.
for?
The thing
Yeah.
is to go and vote. That's very important. I'm voting from here. I
Okay.
registered myself and I did it 6 years ago as well because that's a privilege that we can
Yeah.
Well,
that
Vero,
we have.
tell the viewers how you do that. Maybe not everybody knows.
I did it through the Consulate of Mexico. There is one in
Okay.
San Bernardino. There is another one in LA, in Los Angeles.
Okay.
So I did it through the consulate. It's super easy. It's online. You don't need to go or anything. It's super easy.
Okay. How do you
Same thing.
prove?
Same thing. Sorry, Hadley. Same thing with the Council of Guate. They also provide the QR, and you just do everything
Yeah.
online, and it's very easy to do. So, I mean, we're blessed to be able to do that here, even if
Yes,
we're not in our country, to be able to uh, have our voices heard and be able to vote.
I agree. And it's
How
gonna
do
be the
they?
first time that a woman is gonna be a
Yeah.
president. So it's gonna be an interesting elections. Very
It's
interesting.
very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do the online systems verify your citizenship?
Because they have my registration with my birth
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
certificate. They're attached to the civil agency, so they know through my. We have a card that names is IFE. It's
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
right.
our ID in Mexico. It's the most important ID. With that ID, you can fly and you can do anything national.
Mm-hmm.
And with that ID, they have a register everybody that has that ID. So that's how they know you are a Mexican national.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things about consular services, both that I've recognized with Mexico and Guatemala, because we work very closely with both consulates,
Yeah,
is the system to get any kind of civil document is better than ours, in my opinion, because you can go to the consulate and request a birth certificate. On the
yeah,
back of the birth certificate, it will have all of information about marriages, divorces,
Mm-hmm.
printed on the
Mm-hmm.
back of the birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And we just don't have that. I mean, like if I need my birth certificate, I have to order it from the state where I was born.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
you, Hadley. Like,
yeah, and you have it I mean, in minutes. You have it there
yes,
now
Yeah.
with the even in Guatemala too. Same thing. You just go to the bank, pay. I don't know. It's
the
not even
fee.
like $5 or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then they print it out for you. And here in the consulate now they have that. I don't know how long they have it in Mexico, but in what they recently they were able to. They have actually you're able to get copies of your birth certificate, original copies of your birth
Yeah,
certificate. I believe here is like $13 or $15, but
I
it's
pay
very
that.
convenient. Uh-huh.
Yes, super convenient. I went to renew my passport like 3 years ago, and I didn't know that I need to take. Usually, the proof that they need is your passport, your old passport, right? The one that you're renewing, and that's it. But I didn't know they want my birth certificate. I didn't. Obviously, I didn't take it. So they said, "Oh, you can get it here. Just pay." I think was like $15, as you said, and they printed the original one.
So, going back to the elections, how do you think the people will feel about the E2s after these elections? Do you think it'll encourage people in any way to move forward with globalization?
Yeah, definitely yes. If the Morena party wins and they win like the majority, definitely people is gonna look outside to do something else. Yes, because
Okay.
it's been like really, you know how it's been these 6 years that they put the 4P law and the la regla de las 4Ps. So that really affect the small companies and the medium companies, the small business and medium business. So it's gonna be hard to survive or to have more opportunities in Mexico if that continues that way.
So
Well,
Morena is the one that is
AMLO,
gonna let's say follow
the one that is
the
right
step
now.
put for AMLO. Oh, okay.
Yes. So if Xochitl means like if Xochitl wins and they have the majority in the Senate, so
Oh,
that's gonna be like it's gonna be hard for the other parties to try to revoke or put in place any other law.
I hope, Vero, that you'll come back and do a podcast with us, like after the elections, maybe in
Of
a
course,
month from now. We can talk about what happened and
of course, more
how it's
than happy.
affecting everybody. And I think that what's been super interesting in this podcast is learning about that, what you did with the consulate. I
Yep,
don't think that people have access to that information. And, we want to continue to talk about all of our experiences here so people can learn about immigration and everything related to it through our experiences. It's the point of the podcast.
of course, more than happy.
Thank you very much for joining us. I am La Gringa signing off for La Gringa y La Chapina. And thank you, Veronica. And I love you. I miss you. I'm wearing your earrings.
Oh yes, yes,
I
they
was gonna
look
say they're
so
really nice.
gorgeous. No, thank you
Yes,
guys. I really
mucho
love you
gusto,
and miss
Vero.
you too. Muchas gracias. Las
Mucho
quiero.
gusto, gusto en verte, te extrañamos, te queremos
Yo
mucho.
también.
Y pues
Mucho.
se despide Zayra Ivette Padilla, la Chapina. Nos vemos.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys.
Chao.